Are you ready to beat the Demon King with democracy? Nah, but seriously, this manga's great. Today I want to talk about a series known as How the Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. This is an Isekai with a focus on resource management rather than cool action scenes or dark revenge plots. The hero is a government worker from Japan who is summoned not to save the world, but as collateral for a rising national debt. Wonder if there are any classic American heroes we can summon for China. Basically, the kingdom of owes a lot of money to a much larger nation who is actually fighting the demon army.
Why don't we call this what it is? A shakedown.
And they have been offered the ability to use their hero summoning ritual, which is a ritual native to the kingdom, as an alternative form of payment. Now, the kingdom doesn't like either of these options, but they decide to try the hero summoning ritual just to see if it even works. And lo and behold, Soma, who realizes that the kingdom doesn't actually want to turn him over and even asks his opinion on the subject, says, whoa, slow down a second. Let me see your receipts. This premise had me breaking down laughing in tears. The idea of this nation being up to their asses in debt to the point where they have to sacrifice the only boon they have, the only leverage, and they summon it, and it's just, instead of like a sword fighting hero, it's some college dickhead who's like, listen, you guys just filled out some forms wrong. You've got plenty of money. You didn't need to do any of this. Now, this is only true of the initial debt payment. After selling off some useless extravagances and cracking down on corruption, he still has to do some actual legwork to solve the internal problems that caused this lack of money in the first place. Now, let me talk about our main character, Soma, here for a moment. Now, Soma is a hard-working Japanese civil worker. He's kind of bland as far as isekai protagonists go in the beginning. Maybe he gets better later on. He doesn't really have any interests besides the general doing good. He does say he's got goals. He wants to eventually leave the country in good hands after fixing the main problems. The only real goal we know he might have is that his grandfather tells him to start a family. Now, as for the setting, the fantasy setting is pretty standard in most areas. You got your standard array of races with like the beastmen, the dwarves, the elves, demons, of course humans. The time period is general Middle Ages. The art was pretty good too. I really enjoy all the angles. Something about these angles just stood out to me. And I'm not just talking about that angle. Yeah, I like how the faces look. I like how, certain facial features and backgrounds are detailed. Overall, great art in my opinion. Now, I want to add a little section from now on in these videos, and I'll start with this video, about whether I think Isekai tag is necessary for the story. And I think this series does a great job at blending it. Soma is using his modern-day knowledge that he learned in college about government work, and he applies it to the Middle Ages. It's modern world tactics meeting old world situations. That's always a treat. And I will also say, the facts and methods presented by Soma to fix certain problems are believable enough that even if they are bullshit, my suspension is still disbelieved. Fuck, hold on, let me try that again. My belief is satisfied enough to be suspended. I knew I'd get it. Overall, this is a fun series that Michael and me wholeheartedly recommend. I especially recommend this series if you just read something heavy like Attack on Titan or Isekai NTR. It's great as a palate cleanser. Now, as a connoisseur of manga with no money, because I spent it all on hats, I sail the hoy says, matey. For my manga. The series is also available in the form of light novels, which was the original source that you can probably find on bookwalker.com, and the anime, which is currently aired up to season 2, and I think season 3 is in production, is available on Crunchyroll at the very least. Now, as repentance for this video being late, due to some equipment malfunctions as well as general laziness, I will now subject myself to a classic gag, all for your entertainment. I'll see you next week.